Hello. All right. New song today. And I had an idea. And I got really excited about this idea about how to start the new song. And it started with a comment from Finn about how to take the same theme and use it in different ways. And I thought actually this would be an interesting thing to do between all songs, where I go to the previous song and I take something from the previous song. So in this case, I think I'm going to take the melody and I copy it and paste it into a new cart and then just work with it from there. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is from the previous song. So I'm going to take this melody, and so we've got, and it's all over the place. So we've got 16, 17, and 18. So let's copy this into 15. We're going to copy this one. So I've got 4 SFX copied. And now I'm going to, what's the best way to do this? Maybe just restart. Save, what's the date? March 16th. And let's copy this in here. Right, and now I need a new instrument. Actually, this is a good opportunity now to do what my plan was, which is I'm going to take this part of the composition. I mean, I'll probably won't use all 4. I'll probably just use the first one and find a different way to express the same thing. And we'll probably change the notes and maybe change some of the effects and the volume columns, but essentially keeping the main structure of this part of the composition the same, and then building the other layers around this, and then maybe for the next tune, for the next jam, maybe like 3 or 4 episodes from here, I do the same thing where I take, maybe instead of the melody, I take a bass or I take the drums or something like that and play around with it. So let's start by changing all the instruments to custom 0, and we will just get a basic sound going. So that means it should sound like this. Yeah, and so how are some of the different ways we can alter this, keeping it the same but altering it? And so actually the first thing I want to do is just change the key. So I just highlighted everything and then Shift 2, and that goes up a semitone. And I'll do that with all of these. Select all, Shift 2, up a semitone. Maybe what happens if it sounds down the octave? And I could also slow it down. Really, let's make it really slow. So I'm going to get rid of this slide here because that sounds a lot more dramatic. Maybe I could like repurpose this for like some chill village music or something like that. So I'm just messing around with it, just trying to find a different character. Keeping it the same, but just finding a different interpretation of it. Let's get rid of this slide. And maybe something like this. We could also maybe make them all short. Let's get rid of the slide as well. And let's make this note a little bit longer. Let's make this note a little bit longer. And we're going to, let's make this not another exercise in odd time signatures. So we'll just keep these all regular 32 row. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So I'm not going to touch these yet. I just want to make sure I'm happy with this vibe, and I might compose an accompaniment around this melody before deciding whether I want to apply this to the other melody SFX. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of keep this as a starting point, and then I'm just going to develop further in another SFX. And what I was thinking was, rather than at speed 30, is take the same notes and the same distance between notes, but just double their timings. So instead of one row of G sharp, it'll be 2 rows of G sharp. Instead of two rows of B2, it'll be 2 rows of B2, that kind of thing. Just to space it out differently and maybe get like a different interpretation, a different way that the notes are being articulated, different expression, just exploring here. One thing I'm noticing already is that it's a lot less harsh. It's a lot more singing, where this is, the articulation here is a lot harsher. Where this is a lot more nuanced. So far I'm liking this. This kind of falls under that category of grunt work, because it's just kind of, I know what I want to do, and now I just have to kind of execute it. Not much creative work happening right now. This is kind of why I wanted to split off, because I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and if I don't like this, I want to be able to just immediately go back to SFX 8. Okay, so I think that's all that's going to go into here. Adjusting volume curves, all that good stuff. Little bit of vibrato to keep the melody moving. We're not going to use those there. Okay, I like that. Okay, that's not bad. What if I make it a little bit slower some more? Okay, and then now, because it's in the custom instrument, I can further explore the the instrument, kind of in the sound design of the instrument, and maybe we get something like this. Let's put the melody in here and loop it. Oh, actually, I don't want 8, I want 12. I was wondering why it sounded funny. Yeah, okay, that's not bad. I think what I'll do is I'll maybe see if I can create another layer underneath it. And one thing I know, I can tell already that's going to be an issue is if the goal is to do a 2-channel structure, then this melody is taking up a lot of room. It's just like long, singing, flowing, legato melodies can be problematic with 2-channel textures because they take up all the space. I can't insert any bits in here unless I dig further and maybe add a different instrument in there. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's do that. See, sometimes talking out loud isn't a bad thing. Get the ideas flowing. So let's take custom instrument 1. It's 1, right? Yeah, 1. And we're just going to insert 1 here and there. Okay, so you can hear when it passes through the 1 that the texture changes a little bit. Let's see if we can make that a little bit more obvious and dramatic and bring that change out into the forefront a little bit. So we're going to loop this and then go to SFX1s and XFX1 and change some things. Oops. It's interesting. Actually, so really what I'm doing, really all I have is a 2-row pattern here. So let's just loop the 2 rows so I can focus on what I'm actually working on here, which is that. So we kind of have this cool arpeggiator effect. And even though it's on, they're both on C2, because instrument 5 generally sounds an octave higher than all the other instruments, then we're getting that, that arpeggiator effect. I mean, we can exaggerate it more by going like this. So now it's kind of like a continuation of the melody in this way, which is kind of an interesting texture. We could also So this is kind of acting as, like, I've been calling them bits, these little fillers in here, this instrument one, custom instrument one. But it's not really contributing much to, like, the, I don't know, like possible harmonies or counter lines. It's not really adding any melodic depth or harmonic depth to it. It's really just a continuation of the melody. Everything is still on the same note. So one thing what I could do is maybe change it to instrument 0 and yeah. Problem with that is that I know down the road that I'm going to be boxing myself into a kind of like a harmonic corner with that. So I might have to find another way to create some bits. I'm not sure I want to do that quite yet. So let's go back to the original. Yeah, okay, let's stick with that for now. And yeah, now let's see if we can find a way to interpret this melody with a different layer. So I know with you know, using harmony and theory, some of the notes that might work for composing like a little bass line or something like that, something to complement it harmonically. But let's say I don't know harmony. I wonder, I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to turn that part of my brain off, but I'll do my best. Let's say I want to create some kind of, I don't know, pattern here. How would I do that? So maybe I'm just going to draw it in. I don't know. Let's say it's going to be like a 2-note pattern. Actually, let's make it 4 notes. So I have no idea what notes these are going to be. I'm just going to draw them in, and then this way, if you're not familiar with much harmonic theory, then hopefully this will give you a workflow to discover some ways that you can find some bass lines that work. So I have I'm going to be highlighting these notes, and I'm going to be kind of hovering over Shift 2 and Shift Z. And what those do is move things. Oh, sorry, not Shift Z. So let's go back to E1. Definitely Shift 2, because that's transposing up +1, and then Shift M and Shift 2, which are going to be your best friend for trialing out different notes that work. So just constantly, my hand's making a very funny shape on the keyboard, but that's what it's going to take to find those notes. It's very dissonant there already. That kind of works. Let's move that down an octave. Okay, so now I'm going to change this note. Let's move it up a semitone. That works. That also kind of works. Okay, so now we're getting into all those other random notes. Okay, that kind of works. I don't mind that. Let's find another place for this note. that kind of works. It's not too dissonant, but it's actually a little bit, I don't like it in relation. So like we've got this C sharp here and we've got this C sharp here, and it's, I wonder if we can create something that's a little bit more contrasting to that. So let's just move this down to a different note. Let's keep on looking. Okay, that's okay. Let's I just transpose that up the octave so it's not just repeating this note here. That's not bad. Okay, let's move to the next ones. I am kind of I'm kind of cheating because I can see the note that it was originally on. I was like, oh yeah, that's not going to work. So I haven't been able to completely shut off my brain. I'm just like, my hands are wiggling and they're just, I don't want them to wiggle, but they're just doing it because I just know that there's a dissonance there that's just not going to work within the key. So so in case you see me changing it without announcing all my changes, that's what's happening. Oh, that's another good trick. So you'll notice that if I want to demo this change, I've been just pushing spacebar, which means it starts at the beginning. But in order to get to it quicker, I can just shift space, and it'll just play from the closest 8th row. Closest 8th row? Does that make sense? Okay, so now this one. Let's keep this note and up the octave this one. Okay, now that I kind of have an idea of what it sounds like in relation to the other part, now I'm going to kind of just listen to it in relation to itself and see if maybe I can make it a little bit more, I don't know, melodic within itself. It's very kind of jumping all over the place. A lot of big leaps here. So let's see if I can smooth it out a little bit. So maybe instead of a jump here, I'll move down to F sharp. And then maybe move this down to G sharp again. I know I'm using my theory, whoops, to figure this out. Yeah, just smoothing it out a little bit. Not that I don't like the big jumps, but I was just kind of like hearing something a little less dramatic. Let's copy and paste this and just try some other ideas, because I think this is okay. I just want to try some other things. Let's move this down to G sharp. Now I'm going to start typing it in. That's a little bit too smooth. a little bit too boring. How about a change of direction, like up to C sharp? I could also go back to this B1. Okay, let's demo this one. Okay, definitely don't like that very much. One of the reasons I don't like it is especially in this area here. We've got G sharp in the melody, we've got G sharp in the bass, we've got F sharp in the bass, F sharp, and it's working basically in parallel. And I think there's something we could try that's a little bit more interesting. So now I'm going to take this new bass line and I'm going to work with it in relation to... I'm going to start with this bass line as a starting point and see if I can change it in a different way from the other one to make something interesting. Okay, putting my theory hat on. Let's going to try this one. That's interesting. Okay, it's getting a little bit too jumpy here. So let's move this to F sharp. Maybe we can change this note to, what do we change this note to? Try B. Let's try something really out of ordinary and something like that. No. Maybe what I can do is, so like this is this is a compositional thing that I have kind of figured out about myself. So you'll notice that with these two SFX, E and A, 13 and 14, they both start in the same way. And I'm kind of wrestling with the notes that follow the E and A. And I'm, wrestling with it. It's not really happening. Nothing is working. I'm kind of, I feel like I'm pushing a boulder up a cliff. But the rows that I haven't touched are the first 8 rows. And so maybe the reason that I'm having a hard time in these rows is because I'm kind of have created this structure for myself and I've boxed myself in a little bit too much. So maybe what I need to do is start thinking about using a different note instead of A here. And kind of that will probably change how I interpret the following notes. So let's see what happens here. See, yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so I think we have a good start with this. I'm pretty happy with the melody as far as like creating like some kind of like more chill vibe. The sound design thing is okay for the moment. I might want to explore some different bits here. I might eventually make this even slower. In the next session, I'm going to kind of try and hone in on what I want in this bass part. The other thing I'm doing that's boxing myself in a bit is the rhythmic thing. It's just all four notes. So I might want to do this kind of, just kind of mix up the rhythm a little bit. That might help. Yeah, but I think I think there's something here. I just need to kind of explore it a little bit more and flesh it out. So yeah, lots of work to do. And if you have any suggestions of where you think, I don't know, you want me to take this or add another layer, or what is this song reminding you of? Maybe that'll help inspire some of the directions I take. But yeah, not bad for first session. Thanks for watching.